Welcome in the Vikings Now. I am your host, Patrick Seatman, and we got some breaking news to break down today. But first, today's show is presented to you by Aura. Aura is an all-in-one digital safety tool, and you can go to aura.com/chatsports right now to start your free 14-day trial. But wow, breaking news. The Minnesota Vikings traded for another quarterback this morning. In yesterday's video, I was kind of flirting with the idea that the Vikings could be trading for Teddy Bridgewater. They decided to go ahead and trade for the Raiders quarterback, Nick Mullens. Tom Pelissero broke the news earlier this morning. I had to get a little run going into the office. I had to hurry up in here and get a video for you guys. But he tweeted out, the Raiders are sending quarterback Nick Mullens to the Vikings for a conditional 7th-round pick in 2024 per sources, a new potential backup for Kirk Cousins. And that's going to be the biggest takeaway. Who will be the QB2? Who will be the backup for Kirk Cousins? Here are the trade details. Obviously, we receive Nick Mullens. The Vikings receive him. And then the Raiders get a 2024 7th-round pick. But it is a conditional. So if this Nick Mullens situation just ends up being a total flop and he isn't active for any actual gains, the Vikings still receive the 7th-round pick. But first, I want to get your guys' one-word reaction to the trade. Mine, I was pretty shocked. I would probably say shocked, but also at the same time, almost expected. Yesterday's video, I discussed the Vikings bringing in another quarterback, and honestly, Nick Mullens wasn't really on my radar as a guy that could bring in. I was leaning more towards the fan favorite, Teddy Bridgewater. I talked about him a little bit yesterday, but get down in the comments. I want to know your guys' one-word reaction to the trade. I would love to know the pulse of the fan base. Now, why I do think the Vikings traded for Nick Mullens was because of how bad Kellen Mond looked against the San Francisco 49ers. Kellen Mond on the first drive of the game, he was running around evading defenders, had a sweet 3rd down throw. He completed his first couple passes, and following his performance against the Raiders, I was like, you know what? It might be Kellen Mond season. It might be taking full control of the quarterback too. And why was I wrong? He finished the game throwing 2 interceptions, was missing just basic check down throws, just basic layups for guys like just any normal starting quarterback in the NFL. And then if you look at Sean Mannion, the other backup on this roster, I called him vanilla ice cream yesterday. He's plain as can be. We know what we have with Sean Mannion, the 6'6", 230-pound quarterback out of Oregon State, and he was mediocre for the second time in preseason against the 49ers, going 10 of 15 for 65 yards. Personally, if I had to choose one quarterback, though, who is on the hot seat, I'm going towards Kellen Mond. I think Mond, with the way he's performed this preseason, the ups and the downs, personally I think Kwesi Adolfo-Mensa, our newest GM, I don't think he really has time to deal and to be patient with Kellen Mond's development. I think he is on the hot seat. I think the Vikings could be potentially trying to trade him for a 6th or a 7th-round pick. If I had to call it right now, if Kellen Mond's on the roster, week 1, I'm going to lean no. I think if they are keeping 3 quarterbacks, it would be Nick Mullens and Sean Mannion, which is pretty shocking that I would say that right now, because if you asked me that 2 weeks ago, I would have completely disagreed. But hey, get down in the comments again. I want to know, who do you guys think won this trade? I'm expecting to see a lot of MINs in the comments section. If you think the Vikings won this trade, type MIN down below. And then if you do think the Raiders got the better end of this deal, they are getting another draft pick in the 2024 draft, pretty much just giving up their backup quarterback. But hey, we couldn't do today's show without our great sponsor, Aura. Shout out to Aura for sponsoring today's show. You do more online than ever. Aura does more to keep you safe. You get real-time alerts on suspicious credit inquiries. So if you looked at your bank account and you saw, oh wow, I just dropped $100 in a club at Vegas, Aura will come in and they will give you the real-time alerts on suspicious credit inquiries like that one, and they keep your identity secure with extensive monitoring of your personal info. So you can go and start your free trial at aura.com/chatsports. We are offering a free 14-day trial for all the great listeners of Vikings Now. Again, you do more online than ever. Aura does more to keep you safe. Now on to our guy, our newest member of the Minnesota Vikings, Nick Mullens. Welcome to the team, man. Let's see some skulls down in the comments. I want to spam the skulls up for a guy, Nick Mullens. Honestly, I'm pretty excited about him because mainly I'm just kind of sick and tired of seeing Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion play preseason football. And hey, maybe Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is looking at his stats versus the Vikings from the first preseason game. He was 7-9, 94 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 picks. And from my eye test in that game, he was delivering balls on time and just putting receivers in good positions to make plays. And I think with the Kevin O'Connell offense, that's a huge part of it. You want to get the ball out on time and on precision, and I think Nick Mullens does a better job of that than guys like Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion. Now, if you're looking at his stats through his 20 career NFL games, he's sitting around 64.5 completions percentage. He's thrown for 4,800 yards, and then he's got 26 touchdowns to 22 picks. Yes, Nick Mullens is not a world breaker for the Vikings. He's not going to bring anything too special to the quarterback room, but he is a solid backup. And honestly, my take from this whole trade that went down, I think it really shows the front office has no faith in Kellen Mond. I think it shows that the front office, I think they've seen enough from the first 2 games that they have been in there with the new management in place. I think they're done. And also, I just think this is an upgrade. You know, I think if you're looking at the full 53-man roster and you look at that quarterback 2 position, I think he got a slight upgrade compared to guys like Mond or Mannion. I think Nick Mullens, if he would have to step in there and play a game, if Kirk would have to go down for some reason, whether it be COVID or an injury, I think Nick Mullens, I would feel much better about him being under center than guys like Kellen Mond or Sean Mannion. But now, hey, if we're looking at this Vikings roster, I want you guys to get down in the comments again and let me know what you think. If the Vikings had to keep one, if they do decide to keep 3 quarterbacks on their roster, do you think it would be Kellen Mond or do you think it would be Sean Mannion? Type 11 for Kellen Mond, type 14 for Sean Mannion. I said earlier, I think they're going to try and keep Sean Mannion, but if they are going to try to move off Mond, I think they might trade him. I think, you are giving up a 7th-round pick for Nick Mullens. I think the Vikings, in their mindset, if they could just kind of get another 7th-round pick and kind of just flop your QB2 position from Kellen Mond to Nick Mullens, I think that's what they could be trying to do. And my breakdown of Mond's game throughout the preseason, he is just inconsistent. I think Kellen Mond, I had that first drive of the game already laid out. He was rolling around. He threw a sweet 3rd down throw where I was sitting there and I'm like, Kellen Mond might actually be the future for the Vikings. He might be the QB2. I was wrong. Maybe Zimmer was also right. Last year, Zimmer really didn't pay Kellen Mond any type of attention. And I know Vikings fans, we have our thoughts on Mike Zimmer, but he is a defensive genius. He is a great defensive head coach, and he saw Kellen Mond every single day in practice, and maybe he just said, this quarterback, he can't hang in the league. He can't throw enough passes on time with precision to win enough games. And I was talking to my dad, actually, yesterday. I was talking to him about bringing in Teddy Bridgewater, and he mentioned to me, he said, could you imagine if Kellen Mond had to go and play a full 4-quarter football game in the NFL and just consistently have to throw throws on time and on target? The man would have 5 interceptions. He's just not an accurate quarterback. And here we have the trade details again for you guys. We are obviously bringing in Nick Mullens. The Raiders are getting the 2024 7th-round pick. It is a conditional. So hypothetically, if Nick Mullens doesn't play for the Vikings this year and he isn't active, we get the 7th-round pick back. I don't expect that to be the case. I expect Nick Mullens to be out there as our quarterback too. Anyways, you guys can go follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting about the Vikings all year long, tweeting about also the NFL too. Go down, follow me on Twitter at Pat Seatman NFL. Thank you for joining us on this early morning Vikings Now video. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes.